everybody, and welcome back to SkyT. In the last episode, we worked on passive crafting. We got ourselves all of the different infusers here set up for making each and every alloy, and they're stopping at 20,000, I believe. Isn't it? Yes. So they're all completely done, and there's a lot more machines in here that we had since last episode. Over here, if we look now, we've got this guy here, a crafter. The whole reason why we've got this going here is because I was looking through what kind of extra fluids we're going to now need for getting into like the end game stuff. One of the things we're going to need is hyper experience. So I've already made about 40 buckets of it, but looking at it, we need hyper experience bottles for making the crystalline ingots, and crystalline is used quite a bit in the ultimate crafting section. And if we need the ultimate ingot here, we need a bunch of those now as well, because they are used for making the infinity ingots, and the infinity ingot is needed for a singularity, and I need 300 of them. So that's going to be quite a lot, so trying to make as much of this so that I can. And the way this stuff is made is you need to use a gloss ink sac with lapis and liquid experience in a superheated mixer. And it only gives you 10 at a time from a whole 100, so it's divisible by 10, which is not great because it means it requires a lot just to make so little of it. And I've been trying to get it this way, so basically right now our ore crushers, like the big crushing wheels over here, they are currently crushing down random ores that we've been mining. See all of the stuff in here, and by crushing this stuff here you get a chance of this experience nugget. And this guy can go through a disenchanter and deposit a little bit of liquid experience. Now, if you actually compress him to a heap, he will deposit 12. That's what I've been doing. Other things as well, in here, you can actually have turned jelly babies, these guys here, into nuggets of experience, 4 to 1. But I completely forgot we need a jelly baby singularity, and that requires 4,000 of them. I've used up all of them. I've been only now starting to save some, so we've only got 50, so we might end up having to make a way bigger mob farm. I don't think this little 5x5 square over here is going to do the job. We might need to go to the nether or the end or something to set up like this crazy enderman farm. I don't know. We'll soon find out. Other things I've done is, if we go to the void dimension, we've done a little bit of work here. This last episode, we got ourselves our evaporation towers and a sulfuric acid going, and I've actually doubled the process here. But the only issue is we've run out of sulfur, because you can see I've made this monstrosity, which is just a bunch of chemical oxidizers. All of the sulfur that is ever made goes into this guy here and is separated between all of them, and it goes into this quantum entanglement porter, which then gives it into each one of these chemical infusers and makes us a sulfuric acid. And yeah, we don't really have a lot. There's 21,000 buckets in here, which is a lot, so it might be enough to do the mechanism reactors now today. But the other thing I did was set up 2 more evaporation towers, and these guys are just making liquid lithium. So what I want to do with that now is get a chemical crystallizer. So essentially the way this is going to work is we're going to pump it into a rotary condensator. Should be nothing in there, so you're going to turn it into a gas. Then you're going to be auto outputted into this guy here. So no items. Actually, there will be items. We'll say auto output out the top into like an ender chest or something. Gases input from the left. This guy here is going to say fluids input from the left and gases output out the right. Okay, and we just need to give these guys here some power. There we go. They probably need upgrades then as well, but we put this right here and just tell it to extract. Oh, it's on wrench mode. There we go. So you're going there, deconcentrate into lithium, and then when you fill up with enough, you will make solid lithium, and that will be used to make our induction matrix later. And there we go. Now we're making plenty of lithium. So we'll just leave that run for a while. Back towards mechanism, if we look over here, this guy's been going very well. We've almost filled this entire liquid sodium tank, which is very important now for today. So hopefully I've got everything right. In between episodes, I have been working on gathering all of the needed materials for this guy. So basically, I have the area fitted out. It's the exact same setup we had in All the Mods 8, if you haven't seen that. That's on my channel if you want to go watch it. And what we want to do is use this tank that I got here. All of the ingredients we need and all the blocks we need is inside this guy, because of course I can't fill my entire inventory with it, but at least the tank can be used with a copy and paste gadget. Now, I've pasted this a few times to make sure everything's correct, but there's a few slight modifications we need to do. For example, we're going to have to move the waste output, but we'll do all that after we pasted it. So let's paste it and see what happens. That glass breaking is just it's thinking the quantum link, like this guy over there is supposed to be here, but of course we didn't place it. all of this extra tubes and cables and stuff, they can go because we're going to be doing something different right here. Originally, this is where the sulfuric acid and the fuel production was going to be for each one of these reactors, but that's all going to be moved over to the side here and then just pump one long cable instead of having individual setups. And the sulfuric acid is going to come from the quantum entangle porter over here. So each one of these guys are working, so you can see they are built so we can open their interface, which is exactly what we want. Over here now, each one of the thermoelectric boilers are going, so that's good. A lot more stuff we're going to have to figure out over here, just to make sure everything's working. Now, these guys here are not built. Now, I don't know if that's just because they don't have the turbine blades inside, which I do have, so let's just slip inside and put them down. And it's just simple as right-click on until we've filled up the thing. And if we put back down the glass, oh yeah, everything goes back into here. And let's take everything out now since we're no longer going to need it. Yeah, we hold on to the structural glass. So if we put this back down, does the thing build? No. That means there's something missing on this guy. We got the rotational speed controller. I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with this. Might take me a second to figure it out, but I'm just going to put down the turbine blades on each one. There's probably a missing block inside this guy. I might need to open them up and make sure everything's there. So that could be the issue. Because I'm not 100% sure if everything did paste. So let's just open one of these guys up because none of them are working. So let's see. Okay, everything seems to be good in here. I'm just going to empty it out and refill it. Oh, what happened here? They're not supposed to be gone. Did they paste the wrong block or did I accidentally dig those out? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, okay. We're missing some electromagnetic things. So electromagnetic. Yeah, we're missing this thing. That's why. I think each one of these guys gets 3 or 4. Yeah, they get 4 each. I think that's what was missing. So if we put back down these guys right here. Yes, now it worked. Okay. So yeah, they're just missing these electromagnetic coils. So let me put those in. All right, each one and every one of them is now ready. So, in terms of configuration, this was supposed to be the SPS thing, so we're not going to be doing that here. So let's clear this up. I believe this was supposed to be for the nuclear waste. And we are going to be moving that to the front over here, because this is coming out of that there. So I want to grab out some fission reactor blocks and replace these guys here with actual, like, we're going to move the port to the front. And now we just need to remove all this tube. Okay, I think we have all the cables more or less routed to where we need to. Gone around and made sure they're all on extract and insert where needed. And hopefully everything here is ready. The only thing I need to do now is just grab out a few sinks here. And, oh, I haven't crafted any of those. Should I make a pattern? Might as well. Craft me like 2 sinks to start with. And that should, actually no, give me 3 because then I'm going to go 1 sink to each boiler. And they're going to be like right here. So I'm going to put a sink here and then we can use entangled blocks for the rest. I don't want these connected here. And all I want then is just the sink to extract. And that's just going to slowly fill each one of these boilers. And it seems to be doing it evenly. Also, make sure for each one of these turbines, just turn on dump excess. Because if they fill up with steam, they could cause a failure and explode more or less. And you can see how slow this is extracting. That's why I want to grab out entangled blocks and just attach a bunch more sinks onto it. So just do that and then just do this. And then tell them to all to extract. And if we wanted to, we can actually put it across the top then as well for more input. There, now this thing should have no issue with running out of water. And any excess water will just be dumped by the steam turbine. At least that's how I hope I remember it. I need to make a backup just in case before I turn the system on. Let me do the sink setup for the other 2. Okay, all the boilers are filled with water. So the only thing I really need to do now is fill the actual reactors here with our sodium. Now, that is over here in a liquid form, so we are going to have to turn it back into a gas through rotary condensators. So I guess we might need to do that now. How am I actually going to do this? Yeah, I'm just going to have to set up a bunch of rotary condensators and just turn it back. All right, so essentially, I've just used an entangled block instead of having to bring the whole tank over. We're going to hook this up like so. Each one of these guys have maximum upgrade, so we're just going to tell this guy here to extract. Each one of these, I think, has to be flipped. There we go. And that should be making sodium. And we should be able to just pump it into the reactor right here. There we go. Coolant tank. So I don't know how much this thing is going to require. Probably due to the size of it. It's probably going to be more than what this tank here already has in it. But I guess we'll just leave this fill up and see what happens. We'll come back to it later. And actually, let's just actually start making the fuel now while we're waiting. Oh yeah, I need to set up our safety measures as well. That's going to be using a piston, some observers, redstone. I can't remember if it's the redstone repeaters or not. I don't think there was repeaters in this. No, it's just a few blocks of redstone, or a few pieces of redstone dust, and gravel. So essentially how this is going to work, if we just grab out some concrete just to build with, we almost want it so this guy here is going to be, say, high temperature. Output a redstone signal when there is a dangerous temperature, okay? That's going to go into this piston right here. Face you up the way. That's also going to go onto this guy here. And I'm going to need another block right here. And we're just going to put the observer here. You're facing out the way. That shouldn't do anything just yet. I forgot to actually set this guy here to activation. And so put this back down, put this right here, and break this. It's not actually going to do anything because, well, the reactor doesn't have any power or fuel in it, so it won't turn on. Also, you can see I put the actual fuel waste port right there, and that's going to come out into these tubes right there. So more or less then, redstone going to go here. So when it reaches a high dangerous temperature, this guy will flick on and activate this piston, pushing it up. The observer then will read the redstone signal or the change in whatever block it's looking at and send a redstone signal into this guy to turn him off, which is exactly what we want. Now I need to do the same thing here on these guys. Oh yeah, and by the way, the reason why we're using gravel is so when the thing is back to normal, the gravel will fall down and stop this thing from trying to read another signal. And there we go. So let's get the fuel going. So for fuel, we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need some isotopic centrifuges. So do I have a pattern for those? I don't. Let me make it one. 10 should be more than enough. How are we looking so far? 8,000? Oh, wow. That's barely made a dent. I think we might need to set up multiple. I might need to make 100 of these evaporation towers because I even upgraded them. I don't know if I showed this part. I've added some resistive heaters to increase these guys to the maximum output, which is 1 bucket and 20 millibuckets. So they are currently outputting their maximum, but I don't know if this is actually going to be able to keep up. We probably need to set up even more of these towers. So we're just going to run these guys across the front here. I think they also can use some upgrades as well. How many is that there? 10. So that should be more than enough for now. So the other thing then is to hook up more tubes across the back, and then we need to configure them. So we want to say this guy here, nothing in the top because it can't have anything. No items. Gases though are going to be input the back, output out the front. And that's all we need to do. And I think they already are set up like that. So we're just going to grab out our configuration tool. This one here, not this one. And we're just going to shift right click and then paste it into each one of these guys. Oh yeah, and they do require power. So we'll have to give them cables underneath. So working back the way then, for the fuel, if we have a look here. So we need uranium hexafluoride. Uranium hexafluoride is hydrofluoric acid and uranium oxide. Uranium oxide is made by using a chemical oxidizer and yellow cake uranium. So we're probably going to have to do the same thing we did over there for sulfur, but uranium oxide. And uranium oxide, I think that's from crushing or enriching uranium for yellow cake uranium. Yeah, so we need an enrichment chamber over here. I'm just trying to think now, since our system access is all the way over there, I think we had an ender chest for yellow, which was meant for our honeycomb. So if I just grab out a yellow green or something like that, we have a bit of cake there. I think I got that as a quest reward. So we say this guy here is going to be yellow on the side, and then the center is going to be green. And this is where we're going to pump our yellow cake uranium into, or just the uranium ingots that we're going to get from over here. So all I want then is a pipe and uranium. We should be able to just pull it straight out of this guy here. And we just want to make sure this guy here is set up with a filter just for uranium. And there we go. That's all we want. And you are set up for filter only for sulfur. Yes. So working back then for the machines. So this one here requires chemical infuser. There's no odd number here. Give me one more, or let me just take away one of these guys here. Probably don't need 10 of them, to be honest. So you are going to go there. Hide configurations, that's whatever. Tube there. And now to go into this guy, we need hydrofluoric acid. That's going to be fluorite and sulfuric acid. Now fluorite is another block we're going to have to get over here now. So chemical dissolution chamber, you're going to go there, and you're just going to items in the top, and actually items in the right, and then gases out the left. Oh yeah, and some gases will be in the top, which will be from the quantum entanglement porter. So you go there, and I'll just set up all this. So we just want gases, output, auto eject on, and we want sulfur. Gases input the top. Why are you not going in? Do you not auto eject? Oh, I set it for fluids. There we go. Now we just need an ender tank here with fluorite. Okay, so we'll go with a combination of gray, white, gray, and we'll stick these down right here. Now this process is probably taking a lot longer than what I wanted, but this will have to be the way it's done. And tubes, you connect there, and then over here, same thing, enrichment chamber, and then we'll have the chemical oxidizer. It's probably going to need a few of them lined up this way. Now everything here just needs power, and we should be good to go. And then we can go work on extended crafting, because we need to get that up and running now. All right, everything here is up and running, and we are making fissile fuel. I will not be pumping it in until the coolant tanks are full, so I'm just going to let this guy build up, and then when we're ready, hopefully by the end of the episode, we can turn this guy on. There is actually still one last thing I want to get set up in here. It's not necessarily important as of right now, but it will be used later on, and we just want to grab out, say, like 10 of these pumps here. We're probably going to want the upgrades in it, so what's taking so long? Oh, okay, I have to make the machine frames. What we want is to make a water pool, so just grab out some deep slate. And where should we do it? Doesn't really matter. We can do it like right here. And we just want to fill this up with water, so give me out some buckets. And then we're going to want some cables over here. I was going to use deep slate for the placement, but cables should work fine. We just need to hook it up to the power right here. Okay. And then essentially... Oh, wait, we didn't want to put power on it just yet. Okay, hang on. I need to fix that. Because I still need to add some filter upgrades to these guys. So we want to put the pumps down like this, okay? I have 2 more crafting. There's 1. And give me the last one now. There we go. So what we want to do is grab out some filter upgrades. So I've made 12, so 12 filter upgrades. There we go. And essentially then, each one of these guys will get the filter upgrade. And instead of extracting out water, as which is what's under it, it will actually extract out what's called heavy water. And then using that heavy water, you can... Wait, did I not? Oh, I didn't grab them all out. Okay. Yeah, so that will make us heavy water. And then I think using electrolytic separator. So if you look up heavy, this heavy water in here will be separated into oxygen and deuterium. Deuterium then will be mixed with tritium, which we get from solar neutron activating lithium, which we're currently turning into a dust at the moment. Once we made enough dust, we can start turning into tritium. Combine these two together to get DT fuel, then rotary condense it to make the liquid DT fuel, which is then needed for making our vanadium liquid, which is needed for making ourselves our blocks. So that's why we're getting this set up now, so we actually have a big amount of it going. So we'll just grab out a simple also premium tank. Ender pearls? Oh, because I've turned all my ender pearls into resonant ender. Whoops, hang on a second. Yeah, you can stop making that. We might remove these 2 machines now soon and replace them for maybe making HDPE. So I guess I have to wait till some ender pearls build up. Ah, they're already there. And one last thing, we're just going to give all these guys here some upgrades then as well. Speed and energy should do. Oh, okay, so some of these guys did actually suck up water due to having power in my inventory. And that's okay, we just use a gauge dropper and we can just delete the water out of it by shift left clicking. Didn't mean to put that in there, but anyway, we have our black hole tank, which will go right there. And then we just need to hook up the pipes and then just run it right here. They should be straight up making heavy water. Nice. And then later on, we can centrifuge that out. How much lithium have we made so far? Oh, nice. Okay, we should be able to make the actual thing soon. Right, extended crafting time. So for extended crafting, we want to do it upstairs. I think the first thing we're going to make is the combination crafting. So let's go to extended crafting. And we want combination crafting. So we want this crafting core. Oh, yeah, the luminescence. I forgot about that. Let's get that set up right here. So for luminescence, let's have a look here. We need a mixture of energized glowstone and chlorine. Pretty simple. So all we want to do is say quantum entanglement border, go right there. We're going to configure you to have no items. So we have a gas coming out. So we want this to auto output out to the right. And that is going to be chlorine. Okay. And this guy here, we want to say fluids, no energy. Yeah, we need energy. So gases input on the left. Fluids are going to input in the top. We're also going to need an ME pattern provider who is going to go right here. And we're actually going to change this instead. So we're going to say fluids are going to input on the right and items are going to be in and out throughout the top. Okay. So if we go in here to patterns and we look up luminescence, that is going to be made in here just using a blazing capacitor. Put that in there, grab out a cable, and it's hooked up. And the last thing I want then is an interface, or you know what, just grab out an extractor or an exporter. We're going to hook this up, not in the front, on the side here, and you're going to be glowstone. Don't forget some acceleration upgrades. And just hook you up right there. And you are device online, energized glowstone, and now all we have to say is luminescence. So now we can just go back to extended crafting and request a crafting core. Oh, black iron frame. I thought I made a pattern for that. I guess not. I think you are maxed out on speed upgrades, right? Yes, you are. And now we're making luminescence. So back up here then. This is where we're going to be setting up the extended crafting core. What's taking this thing so long? Oh, it's just taking a long time to make the black iron slate. Okay. I guess we can make the pedestals. I don't know how many it needs. It'll probably tell me, because like the way this thing is going to be needed, we have a look in here. So for ultimate upgrades, we need 4 ports or 4 components. In here, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And in here, then we're going to need 12 again, and 12. So, you know what? We need 2 more. There we go. Why is this taking so long? Is it literally just the black iron slate? Is just taking that long to craft? I think it's in here. Oh, there's no upgrades in this guy. That's why. That's more like it. So, if number 1's going to go here, 2, 3, probably want this kind of a pattern. No, that's not right at all. Yeah, that works. And how do I set the patterns? Oh, okay. Shift right click in, found 12 pedestals, and no recipe found. So I think once you input the main item it needs, let's have a look here. So say we want to craft, I don't know, ultimate pipe or something. So we need an ultimate universal cable. And if you right click that on, no recipe? I'm not sure. It's been a while since I used it. I don't think I used this in Stacia. We probably are going to need XNet to tell it what pedestal has to have what item. Alright, let's just get everything here connected up. I need some more blue cable. And everything here should be connected up now. So essentially then, one's going to go there. Cable's going to go up. Another connector. Then the controller. And the controller is going to have a connector going into a chest. So I think we're going to have that go there into a chest. So another connector is going to go there. We don't want it connected to anything. So we just want it to face up. Okay. And then we're going to have a pattern provider here. And this is where the pattern is going to pump into the chest. And then the controller is going to feed it to wherever it needs to go. So if that's the case, the controller does need a point. Okay. So give me a second to configure all these guys. Because I don't know what patterns we're going to need for this one. You know, I think it'd be easier instead of me just trying to search through each and every one of these guys. I'm just going to make it so the pedestals can only hold 1 item at a time, and I'll still have to filter them. But at least then when I have the item in my hand, I can just select a random pedestal to put the item into. I think that would be easier rather than naming it, because I'm after naming this guy here like everything, just so I know which one that is. Then again, actually, it's that guy there, so I don't really need it. So what we want to do is say item, create. This guy here is going to be insert priority, and it's only going to have a maximum of 1 in its inventory at all times. And then we can set whitelisting for everything. And then we just want to say copy this connector and paste it down for each and every one of these guys. Now, same thing for the chest, but this guy's going to be an extract, and we're just going to extract that single at a time. And that's more or less it. So the last thing then to do is say in here is item, create. And oh yeah, we're going to have to set up a connector to pump back into this guy. So you go there and item pipe go up. Don't connect to the south connector. There we go. And this guy then here is going to be an insert. And this guy here is going to be an extract. Now we just need to craft the first items, which I don't think we'll be able to do today, but just having everything ready should be good. So the other things we're going to want is the other crafting tables. Can we craft this thing? No, we need ludicrite. Right, I guess we're back to the void dimension to set up, I keep hitting R, to set back up bigger reactors or extreme reactors. I'm not sure what it's called in this version. And we'll just do them probably like over here somewhere. So yeah, it's bigger reactors. We want to say craft me 100 of this casing. We're also going to need reactor fuel rods. Might need to make a pattern for each and every one of these guys here. Now, I think I'll just hook it up right here. We don't need anything massive, so we'll do probably like a 5x5 one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5. If this isn't enough, we'll go with a 7x7 one. All we want this thing to do basically is just turn uranium into cyanide, and then we can turn that cyanide into plutonium. So we're going to need a lot more reactor casing than that. So I don't know, do we actually even need like an actual coolant in here? Because we want this guy, you know what, we'll just put a coolant in there. What would be the best coolant for this guy? We'll just use bucket of water for now, because I have no clue what would be the best option. So on top of each of the fuel rods is a controller, and then you just fill the rest in with the casing. All right, so on the front here, we're going to have our controller, and then we're just going to have our access ports here and here. And this one here is going to be for output of waste. We're going to put an interface here with a pipe, and you are only going to extract out uranium. Just need to hook this guy up there, and this guy should be full of uranium now. We just turn it on. Now you can see the thing is flying up with temperature. Good thing about these reactors is that they do not explode, and the radioactivity is what we want the most of. Now we are producing power, so we'll just grab this, give this guy a plug of something or a way to store the power. And for now, we're probably... Oh yeah, we don't have a power tap on this guy. We'll put the power tap right here. Okay, in this part of the video, the actual recording glitched out. So the only part you kind of missed is just me talking about we need the induction matrix right now, which you can see is built up there. But just so you know, there wasn't any big cut. The recording glitched and you didn't miss much. I was just talking about, let's get ourselves the induction matrix made. And I started crafting everything. Okay, back to the video. All right, we have a few of them being made. So what we'll do is we'll scrap out all this now and actually build the frame now. So we said we're just going to make it like a 5x5x3, I think. Just get rid of all these chains out of the way. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's pretty much the exact same size that's right here. So it would be very small on the inside, but that's fine. So we want our induction providers like that, and then we'll stick the rest of these like that. You know, I don't actually need that many. Definitely probably going to want to make this thing bigger in the future, but as of right now, we don't need it that big. So there's a few things we actually need to do now, and that's going to be make ourselves... oh, we already have a plug. Okay. We're going to stick a plug onto each one of the reactors instead of going straight into nitro capacitors. I think it'd be just easier if we did it this way. All right, so we're going to have one induction port there and another induction port right here. And then we're going to put a point on it there, and we're going to make our own new network called like mains power. New network. So we'll do like mains power in, and that is going to be blue. Okay. It's not going to connect because I'm not finished building the thing yet. And how many more things do we need in here? 2. There's 1. We should get the second one now in a moment. There we go. So connect it all in, and there we go. So I think we can use our morphing tool here, and yep, so that will be an output, and that's going to go onto this plug right here, and that's going to provide power to everything then. So if we just come over here to power, and you know what, it just probably would be fine. This plug is going to go into this guy instead. Bypassing limit. Oh, I think the guy up here needs to be changed to bypass limit. We're inputting 30 million at a time. Wow. And then this guy here will be outputting all the power then that we all need. And now we have it all being stored in here. So we're inputting in 10 million, which I believe is all it can do. Are these guys all empty? Yeah, they're slowly emptying. We could probably replace it down to just 1. But yeah, because these cables are only capable of doing 10 million in and out. But all the power that will be made from these guys are going straight into the induction matrix. And then that's providing power to everywhere else in the base. So that means we come back over here now to our other reactor. We can put the plug right there. Mains power in. Disable the limit. Now all the power that this made is going straight into the system. So we can turn it back on and leave it run. Okay, we want this radiation to be very, very high. Actually, no, we don't want that. We want the production here. So it's using about 1 millibucket a tick. Yeah, so I think this once it gets to a bucket, it exports out a cyanide ingot. That should go in here. Yep. And we just want to pump that then straight in back into the system. So pipe like that. And there we go. How is our reactor doing? It's been a while since I've checked it now. It's only half full. But it does have 200,000 buckets in there, and that's half full. So that means this thing can hold 400,000 buckets. A little under 400,000. And this guy, okay, we have plenty of sodium to work with. Right, we don't have to worry about it then. It's just going to be getting all the sodium into this thing, which is going to be the big problem. If I have to add more of these guys, I will. Right, there is a couple more things I want to do. just getting the rest of like the extra fluids made, and that is going to be nutritional paste. We want this guy right here, and he's going to turn any type of food into like a nutritional paste, and we need that paste then for in this guy here. So I guess we'll just hook it up and have it pumping into the system, and it should have a location to go. I don't actually know where to hook it up. I guess right here will do. And what type of food do we want to pump out? I think zombie flesh works. Yes, it does. So we'll use that. Oh, that makes a horrible sound. Oh wait, how are we going to pump this back into the system? I didn't think about that. How are we going to pump it back in? I didn't think about that part. You know what? We'll do it around... I don't know where to do this thing. I think we will do it here instead. So we'll do items in the top and fluids out the left. That means it'll go into this guy and back into the system then. Okay. And we just need to somehow pump the... what's it called? The rotten flesh into it. So we'll just use an export bus. Screw it. Alright, so you're good. Just need some upgrades. This thing makes an awful noise. And... you know what? Where's muffling? Oh, that's so much better. So now if we come back upstairs to our tanks, we have nutritional paste. Don't know how much we need, but just gonna leave it run until, I don't know, it makes a couple hundred buckets. The other two things we need is sludge and liquid DT and biofuel and refined fuel. Okay, so same thing, bioreactor. Similar setup than we had over here. This guy is just going to be pumping in any type of item, like similar. I think we can nearly do the exact same setup that is here. Maybe. We'll do the same thing with flesh. What we'll do then is instead, we'll grab an interface and we'll put the interface right here. We'll disconnect that there. And what we'll do then instead is say this guy will input items on the right here. You extract. And then what we can say is pipe. The ultimate pipe. Give it an upgrade. Why not? The ultimate pipe will go here. Disconnect it from there. You are going to extract out of the top. Give it an upgrade and give you an upgrade. And you should get rotten flesh. Oh, does not rotten flesh not work for you? Make sure it's connected to the network. Okay, so bioreactor. What will you use then? Sweet berries. Any type of dye? Okay, maybe I'll use any of the fruits that we've been growing over in our botany pots. 37,000 sweet berries, sure. I think this guy might need water to also work. Oh yeah, it does. So I'm just going to use an export bus. Water, like that. And we just need some add-ons. Okay, now we're making biofuel. Okay, and I have given it like 9 different types of different fruits and veg. And this guy here, I'm just going to continue exporting out like this. Yeah, that'll do. And for this guy then, how are we actually going to get into the system if I have to export water out that way? I didn't think about that. You know what? We don't need this set up here anymore. If we do, we can just put it back down. But as of right now, I don't believe we need it. So if that's the case, we can just pump it back into the system like so. Why are you... oh, you can't be pumped out because you don't have space in here for it. Of course. So we'll just use an import bus. I don't really care at this point. But now we just need to make one last thing, which I believe is the refined fuel. So refined fuel, how do we do that? Just need a fractioning still, and we're just going to pump the crude oil that we are producing from our B into it, just to start centrifuging it up more or less. Actually, you know what? Since this cable's already there, we can just stick another one on. So we want to say input here, output, what should we output into? Because I think we're going to need a second fractioning still. Yeah, because we're going to get heavy oil and light oil. I think we want to pump the heavy oil in, and that will also give us tar. Boostable? What do you mean by boostable? Oh, light oil seems to actually be better. Okay, how do we just pump out light oil then? Okay, just to make things easier on myself, I have heavy oil being stored here, and I have light oil being stored here, and then I can just use the system to pump it out into another of the fractioning still, because there's literally not enough room here to do any of that. So what I can do then is say, you go here, and just give you some upgrades as well. Okay, then I can say pipe, fluid pipe, and I'm also going to need another fluid pipe, aren't I? Wait, how am I doing this? Okay, you know what? I'm going to move you to here, actually. Yeah, just going to leave you there. I'm just going to grab an interface. I hope I have enough channels here for all this. I'm going to stick you there. And what I'm going to say is input to top, auto input, and then I'm just going to say output the top. Actually, we'll do input and output, pull and push, and that should work. So we want the light fuel coming out here. And we'll just max it out. There we go. That goes in, and that should automatically get pumped out as refined fuel. There we go. Right, that's passive pretty much. So the last two is going to be sludge and liquid DT. I don't know if we really have time to do sludge today. That's just going to be setting up a simple like farm in the void dimension. Let's just have a look and see if we can start making our DT fuel. How much cyanide have we made so far? 23, not bad. We should have loads by next episode. You know what? I'm actually going to set up the plant gatherer now. We're going to use the maximum size add-on, which is tier 12. And if we look at the area of that, pretty big. And we're just going to trash all the items it makes except for sludge. And we're just going to use probably an ender tank and just pump it back over there. So let's mark out our area. Okay, and then roughly the center should be right here. Okay, now if we turn this off and put this in here, will it be the same size? Hey, I'm spot on. Okay, so we just need to somehow get saplings into you. So saplings, let's just go with basic old oak. Why not? Lock the inputs. And then what we're going to say is a drawer, a 4x drawer. And we're just going to give it some upgrades. Using a universal pipe so we can pull out items and fluids at the same time. Where's my wrench gone? And then the ender tank is just going to be dyed purple. So two last things then is I need to hook up this to power. So we're going to run the pipes down like this. So that's going to be filtered to only extract out saplings, like so. And then we're just going to run this over this way to you. And then we just give it some power using a point. Okay, for some reason, the ultimate pipe wasn't working. So I'm just going to use fluid and item pipes instead and see if this works. No? Why isn't the items here being pulled out? Will it not pump straight into a drawer? Oh no, it is working. But it's just... it only works as it collects it. I do not understand what's going on here. I don't know what happens if this thing gets full. It won't extract out. Maybe something's broken here? I don't get it. Okay, I figured out what was wrong with it. Even though I had the filter set to only extract out saplings, because I was using an ultimate pipe, it was also trying to pump it into him, into this guy here. But I also did try the destination filter, and it still didn't work. So I've just replaced it then with an item pipe and gave them each one of the machines their own point for power. I even tried using the logistical transporter pipe to see if that would work, but didn't really do anything. But it is working now, and this guy here is getting all the saplings, so that's pretty good. All right, quick rapid fire now, since we're just about out of time. We want to start turning this heavy fuel now into DT, so we need a separator. So separator here, oh, that has stuff in it. So pipe there, you extract, deuterium made. We want to dump the excess oxygen. Deuterium then will go out over here into a chemical infuser, which I'll just put down like right here. Get a tube that will connect it to there. Now we need to make sure we're putting this out the right side. So dark blue, deuterium, tell it here to extract. Oh, that's a cable. Oops, I meant a tube. They look identical, but there we go. So now we got the deuterium in here. This guy, you know, you can stop making crystals. We don't need it anymore. And then the pressurized tube can come out this way in there. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't go straight into him yet. It has to go into a solar neutron activator. And I think that goes in the back. Nope, doesn't matter. Pressurized tube. And now you just tell this thing here to extract. Can you configure this guy? Oh, you can. Nice. I think in the past you couldn't. Input, output. And now we're making a DT fuel. Now this needs to go into another rotary condensator. So all we have to do now is give this guy here power. Should be fairly simple. There we go. And now this is making DT fuel. And unfortunately, our interfaces are over there, so I guess another ender tank. You know what, actually? I'd say the purple one could be used as well. Sometimes sludge gets put in, but I think if we were to, say, fluids auto-eject out the right instead, DT fuel should get pumped in there sometimes as well, no? Okay, maybe not. We'll spice it up with a bit of pink. Wait, why aren't you exporting out? Oh, because you haven't even made it, because you also need power. My bad. There we go, liquid DT. Okay, so if we look up liquid DT, do we have it? Yes, we do. So that is pretty much all of the fluids that we now need. The only thing this thing needs is a few upgrades. All right, now everything here is working. I don't think we have enough time now this episode, so what we're going to do next episode is finally turn on our reactors. and then we will finally start making antimatter, and we can finally make the final few machines. No, there'll be like another couple episodes, but I think we might be able to finish this in the next 2 to 3 episodes. The next episode, we'll turn on the reactors, get the rest of these machines, and then we'll finally be able to start Draconic Evolution, because then once we're done with Draconic Evolution, that's mainly it. So once we get the Chaos Infusing Crafter, we're done, and then we just need the Quantum Compressor, and then finally make our final parts, which will be the Overworld portal. So I think we're fairly close to having this finished. So I'm going to end there. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget that like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell while you're on it then as well. So without any further ado, and goodbye.